What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. With the trade deadline fast approaching, let's talk about the Raptors' gaping hole at that center position. So today's video, I will be taking a look at 4 trade scenarios which help the Raptors acquire a big man. And Aaron Baines, who's obviously been struggling with the Raptors this entire season, is not a starter, and we do need a starter out there. Chris Boucher is a great player, but he's not known for his rebounding, and he does weight-wise anyways, gives up a lot of size for us. So I will take a look at some of those trade scenarios, but before I get into the details of that, if you could please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps reach a larger YouTube audience when you do that. And if you could hit that subscribe button as well, it really helps this channel grow. You get a lot of Raptors videos on here, including Raptors rumors, trade scenarios, and other videos as well. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So before I get into the trade scenarios, I did want to show you this tweet by Josh Lewenberg because news broke out yesterday saying that the Raptors are telling interested teams that they will not trade Kyle Lowry. But then Josh Lewenberg kind of backtracks on what he said, and he says this: I did not say that Lowry isn't available. I did not say that Lowry won't be traded. I wrote that the Raptors don't intend to move him and that he's unlikely to be traded ahead of the deadline. Big difference. Personally, I don't believe it. If you ask me, Masai Ujiri is doing this because it raises Kyle Lowry's price up for the trade. If you tell teams you're not interested, you're not going to trade Kyle Lowry, and teams desperately want him, you know they're going to throw up more picks and young players in there. So the reason I'm showing you this is because some of these trade scenarios do include Kyle Lowry. Despite yesterday's report, I personally don't believe it. Masai Ujiri also once famously told DeMar DeRozan he's not trading him, and he traded him to San Antonio for a Kawhi, but I don't think he'll go that route again. But I do believe that Masai Ujiri will trade Kyle Lowry at the trade deadline. With that being said, let's jump right into our first trade here. So you see here, this is a big trade between 4 teams, a lot of players being moved. The Denver Nuggets get Kyle Lowry and Michael Carter-Williams from the Orlando Magic, and the reason Denver Nuggets do this trade for Kyle Lowry is because they are one of those teams kind of looking to get in the top 3, 4, 5 spot. They have kind of been up and down, especially with Jamal Murray there. He had an amazing bubble there, but unfortunately he has not played the same. So they want to get Kyle Lowry to kind of make that deep playoff push again. So they acquire him in the hopes of getting that deep push and getting to the conference finals again and even further. The Memphis Grizzlies here, they get Matt Thomas and DeAndre Bembry from the Raptors because they sent Kyle Anderson to the Orlando Magic, and Orlando Magic get some nice pieces in Gary Harris and Terrence Davis, and in return the Raptors get Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando Magic. I know a lot of reports have said he's not available for a trade, but if a good trade comes around, I don't see why the Orlando Magic do not trade him. And also we get Will Barton from Denver for salary purposes. He can come off our bench. He can score a little. He's obviously had injury problems, but he is also one of those players you can use off the bench and as a starter as well. And in case Norman Powell decides to go elsewhere, he's also a player we can use. Not to say he's as good as Norman Powell, but someone just to kind of replace his offensive production anyways. And then we also get Zeke Naji. So I personally really like him. I was hoping he would fall to the Raptors in this past year's draft. Unfortunately, the Denver Nuggets did snag him up in the early 20s. So if you don't know who he is, he's a young player. I believe he's only 20 years old. He just turned 20 in January. He's a young player. He can move really fast. He's listed on a lot of sites. He's listed as 6'9". Some sites he's listed as 6'11". I remember when I was doing my scouting report, he was actually mentioned in my very first video in the Raptors, the very first video I've posted on the Warriors Report. If you have not checked that out, check it out. It's called the potential draft targets for the Raptors, and he was one of the players I scouted. Originally, he was listed at 6'11", 240 pounds. Now he's listed as 6'9", 6'10", 6'11 on many different sites. So we'll just say 6'11", go in the middle there. 240 pounds. He can move really well for his size. He's got a jump shot, and he's shown that he can hit the three-pointer in one game with the Nuggets this season. He did have a game where he hit 4 three-pointers, so he's a young player, big man we can use. He's got good size for modern day NBA. His defense needs a little bit of work, but I'm sure Nick Nurse will fix that. So you get some nice pieces here. You get that center, all-star center, Nikola Vucevic, who can help you rebound, who can help score. He can score in multiple ways, three-pointer, post-up, jump shots, whatever, you name it. And he's also a really good rebounder as well. So that really helps the Raptors, not only in their big man position, but also You get one nice young player in Zeke Nagy, who I absolutely love, and then you also get some help for the bench. As we've seen, the Raptors need some help scoring from the bench, so Will Barton gives us some size as well. Small forward, he can play off the bench and provide some scoring. Unfortunately, we do lose Kyle Lowry to the Nuggets, but you do have to give something to get something. You lose Matt Thomas, who's not, let's be honest, he's not going to get very many minutes, I believe, on the Raptors. He did get a few more minutes last game, and you lose Terrence Davis as well, but I do believe the Magic do this because they're looking for someone who's a starting caliber player, and they get that in Gary Harris. You also get a decent player in slow-mo Kyle Anderson, and you get Terrence Davis as well, who they can build around for the future. I do believe the Raptors would probably have to give up a future first-round pick. The asking price is really high for Nikola Vucevic, and the Raptors on top of that get some nice players as well. So this is my first trade scenario. I do think this is a little bit crazy because it's a lot of teams, a lot of players involved, but it is a realistic trade because a lot of teams involved in this do benefit from this trade. So I do want to take a look at the second trade as well. So this trade would have us receiving Andre Drummond, Matisse Thybulle, and Tyrese Maxey. The Philadelphia 76ers get their man and Kyle Lowry. They also get Matt Thomas, who can shoot the three and he can spread the floor for them. We know they need that with Ben Simmons not being able to shoot, and Joel Embiid in the post there. So they also get Quinn Cook from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cleveland Cavaliers get Danny Green, Mike Scott, and they also get Seth Curry, which is a nice piece. So I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers are opposed to trading Drummond. If they get a nice piece in Seth Curry, they can use him off the bench or in the starting lineup. But I do think we'd probably, maybe, I'm getting a little bit greedy here, maybe acquire a future second round pick from the 76ers just because we're giving him Matt Thomas as well. Matt Thomas, I wouldn't say he's as good as Seth Curry, but he's a cheaper, lesser version of Seth Curry. So they get some three-point shooting. They also get Kyle Lowry, and the Raptors get some really nice pieces as well. Andre Drummond, say what you want about him, one of the best rebounders in the game. You get Matisse Thybulle, who's a really good defensive player. He's ranked, I believe, top 10, top 8 in the league in steals per game, and he's only playing 18-19 minutes a game. He can slide in that shooting guard position off the bench. And you have another young player in Tyrese Maxey, as we've seen. He's just lights out offensively. He can score off the bench. So you get two really nice players, and now you get Andre Drummond as well, who you can always re-sign in the offseason as well. So this is a nice trade. Obviously, you give up a lot in Kyle Lowry and Matt Thomas, but you do get some nice pieces back in Will, and Cleveland Cavaliers get some decent pieces as well. So this is my second trade proposal. I do want to have a look at my third trade proposal here. I really like this one as well. So the Raptors get Miles Turner, Kelly Olynyk, Precious Achiuwa from the Miami Heat. Kelly Olynyk from the Miami, and then Pacers are also involved in this trade. Then they send us Miles Turner. In return, the Pacers get Goran Dragic, Kendrick Nunn, who's a young player, and they also get Terrence Davis, who's again another young player with potential. And the Miami Heat get Kyle Lowry, and they also get Aaron Baines as well to kind of replace Kelly Olynyk and Precious Achiuwa there. And this is a nice trade for the Raptors because you get your big man for the present. Miles Turner is a nice young player who can rebound, and I can't imagine him and Chris Boucher blocking shots together. They're going to block shots all game long. So you get a nice player in that. Kelly Olynyk, you get off the bench. He's kind of a salary filler in there, but you also get Precious Achiuwa, who I really like. He was one of those players I wanted the Raptors to draft, but we knew he wasn't going to fall that far in the draft. The Miami Heat did snag him, and we saw him earlier in this season versus the Raptors. High energy, high motor. He's not too big for a big man. I believe he's 6'8", 6'9", but he is a modern-day NBA big man. He moves really well, good defensive player, and he rebounds very well. So he's one of those young pieces you get back, and you also get Miles Turner. So I really like this trade here. It's a bonus. Indiana Pacers also get two nice young players and a veteran, and they can use in Goran Dragic. And, of course, the Miami Heat get their man in Kyle Lowry, and they also get Aaron Baines as well. So the next trade I want to look at is this one here. This is personally my favorite trade here because I do believe this is a very realistic trade, especially considering all the pieces being moved around. The Raptors get Nikola Vucevic. This is another trade involving him. The Orlando Magic will move him. And in return, they get Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. We do give up Norman Powell as well, which is a lot to give up, but we do have to give something to get something. We also send Aaron Baines to the Orlando Magic and Patrick McCaw to the Indiana Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers in return for giving up Miles Turner, give up Aaron Gordon as well. I do believe we'd probably have to give up a first-round draft pick to the Orlando Magic just because they're giving up two of their main pieces here, and they do get some nice return in Miles Turner, Norman Powell, but we do probably likely have to throw in a first-round pick as well. This is my personal favorite trade just because I can, realistically speaking, see this happen. Indiana Pacers are trying to apparently trade Miles Turner, and there are some teams interested. They get him to Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic use Miles Turner to replace Nikola Vucevic, and they also get a really nice piece in Norman Powell, shooting guard, small forward. And they get Aaron Baines off the bench as well. And Indiana Pacers get Aaron Gordon, who has some really nice tools. Hasn't necessarily been all that great in the NBA, but he is still a fairly young player. And the Raptors get their big man in Nikola Vucevic, great rebounder. As I said earlier, he can really help the Raptors on the board. So every team here, I feel like, really benefits from this trade. So I feel like this trade really helps all the teams involved. So these are my 4 trade packages, guys, for the Raptors to acquire a big man. Let me know what you think of these trade packages. Let me know in the comment section. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you think the Raptors could do, or which one would you want us to do? If there's any other big man you like the Raptors to acquire, let me know in that comment section, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time.